In this meditation, we're going to practice identifying and releasing tension throughout the whole body, lying down. So as usual, you'll want to have your blindfold on. And just take a few deep breaths as you settle into the feeling of lying down on the floor. We'll begin by settling into our bodies a little more, and we do so by taking our hands and resting them on our abdomen, on our belly. And you want it to be as easy as possible, so resting your elbows on the floor and just letting your hands land wherever they do on the lower half of your torso. And we want to breathe in such a way that as we inhale, we feel our belly expanding, moving up toward the ceiling and out towards the sides. And when we exhale, we feel our belly collapsing ever so slightly. And in the beginning, we can extend that to an extra full breath, so that first we breathe in, we feel our belly expanding, and we continue breathing in, and we can feel internally that our rib cage and our upper chest area is also expanding. And then we exhale naturally. Let's do a couple more breaths like that. So first we fill in such a way that our belly expands, and then when it can't expand any further, our chest starts expanding on the inhale. So let's do a couple breaths like that now. And then we can return to breathing a little more naturally. So we're not trying to fill up all the way on the inhale. We're just breathing naturally, but still breathing using the diaphragm muscles, so we feel our belly expand on the in-breath. But again, it doesn't have to be a full breath, just whatever feels natural. And as we breathe this way, naturally, just notice the placement of your skull. Feel the back of your head resting on the ground. Feeling the backs of your shoulders and your shoulder blades. And anywhere your spine presses against the floor, the middle of the back. Perhaps your lower back touches the floor. And then your sacrum and the back of your pelvis. Feeling the buttocks pressed against the floor. And if you've draped your legs over a cushion to support your lower back, we can consider the cushion the floor also. So feeling your hamstrings, the backs of your thighs, the backs of your calf muscles, and then your heels, and if the bottoms of your feet, the soles of your feet are touching the ground, they don't have to though, but if they are, feeling them on the ground. Just feel the weight of your body, the back of your body, everywhere it touches the ground. Just notice. So now we'll go through the body part by part, and the floor, the feeling of the ground supporting us will help. So we can start with the head and the back of the head where it's making contact with the ground. Can you feel the hardness of the floor, the firmness, as if the ground is coming up, the pressure is coming up from beneath you to support your skull. And how do we respond to that support? Do you notice any tension in your scalp muscles around your head? And then feeling the base of your skull where it connects with your neck. And then the whole back of your neck down to the tops of your shoulders. Do you notice if the muscles there are working to keep your head in a certain position? Or if the left side is tighter than the right side, or vice versa? Just notice and feel. You can also notice the front of the skull, our forehead and our face, and our jaw. So just notice, are you clenching your jaw? And if so, just wiggle your jaw, open and close your mouth a few times. And see if you can invite the muscles of your jaw to soften. And if it's comfortable, leave your mouth hanging open so that you're breathing through your mouth and nose at the same time. As we go through this process from time to time, you might find yourself yawning or taking an extra deep breath naturally, and that's fine. Don't control it in any way. Notice any tension in your cheeks, your temples, your forehead. And we can even sense the eyes. Not just your eyeballs or your eyelids, but behind the eyes and the eye sockets. There might be some tension there, or a sense of achiness or heaviness. And with the eyelids, you might be needing to force your eyes to be closed. And if that's the case, if your eyes would prefer to be open, then let them be open behind your face mask, behind your blindfold. It's okay if they're open, if that's what they want to do, if that takes less energy. So we let the eyes do what they want to do. Just noticing the forehead, the temples, the cheeks, and your jaw. The back of your head and the back of your neck. Noticing any areas that still seem tight. And then we take a nice deep breath in. And out. And as you breathe out slowly, invite all those tense areas to soften. And when you do that, you might notice that your head rolls into a different position, and then your face feels a little softer. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep breath in. And out, inviting the neck and the skull and the face to soften. And breathing normally. And now we bring our attention down from the neck to the shoulders, your upper arms, and your elbows where they're resting on the floor. And then up the forearms, through the wrists, your hands, your fingers and thumbs. So feeling your arms from your shoulders to your fingertips. Which areas feel soft and relaxed? Which areas feel hard and tense or achy? Just notice. See how deeply you can feel your arms and hands. Can you feel all the skin? Can you feel all the muscle tissue? Can you feel all the way into the bones? And now, having identified the areas that feel a little more tense, we'll take a nice deep breath in. And out, exhaling slowly, inviting those tense areas to soften and release. Breathing normally. And one more time, deep breath in. And out, releasing the tension in the arms and hands and shoulders. Breathing normally again. And now we're going to focus on the upper part of the torso. So the chest area and your heart and lungs, and then the bones in the back, so your upper spine and your shoulder blades. So basically everything from your sternum down to the floor, covered by your rib cage, and then the tissues that are wrapped around and covering your rib cage. Just feel these areas in the upper body. Again, noticing any tension, hardness, pain. Okay, now having identified any areas of tension, we'll take a nice deep breath, filling our bellies, and then feeling the upper chest expanding. Start now. Exhaling and softening those areas of tension and breathing normally. One more time, a nice deep breath in. And out, inviting those tense areas to soften in the upper body. And breathing normally. And then we can bring our attention to the lower half of the torso. And this is made easier because our hands are already resting on our belly, which helps draw our attention there. So we're feeling our bellies, and then around the sides, and then the back. So the lower back, and the middle of the back, the smallest ribs, and the bottommost part of the rib cage. Feeling those muscles in the lower back. You might even feel any sensation where the intestines are. And then having any areas of tension identified, you take a nice deep breath in. And out, inviting those areas to soften. Breathing normally. And one more time, and a nice deep breath in. And out, softening the tension in the lower half of the torso. And now we bring our awareness even lower. So feeling the back of the pelvis and the buttocks, the hips resting on the ground. And as we move forward in the body from the buttocks, we come to the groin. And depending on your sex, the sex organs externalized or internalized. And then the front of the hips, the front of the pelvic region to the pubic bone, and the tissue beneath your belly button to your pubic bone. And your waistline. So just spend a few moments scanning all of these areas for tension, hardness, pain. And having identified some areas, we take a nice deep breath in. And out, softening, releasing, relaxing these areas. And breathing normally. And scan these areas one more time, from the hips and the back of the pelvis and the buttocks, touching the floor all the way up to the pubic bone and the groin and the genitals. Looking for areas of tension. Another deep breath in. And then out, softening these areas. Now we bring our attention down even further to the backs of the thighs, and actually our entire thighs. So from the hips down to the knees. Just scanning this part of our legs. And we can, inside, start at the groin, moving down the inner thigh to the knee. And scanning all the way to the center of the thighs, to the bone. Noticing any areas of soreness, pain, tension, and having identified them, deep breath in, and then out, inviting those areas to soften and release. And breathing normally. And then we're scanning the thighs one more time. And scan the muscles, the bones. Finding any areas of tension, we take a deep breath in. And then out. Softening those areas. And breathing normally again. And now moving down to our knees and our lower legs down to the ankles. So the two bones of the lower leg and the calf muscles and all the other long muscles running from your knees down to your ankles. Just scan your lower legs with your awareness, looking for any areas that are tighter than the surrounding areas. You can even notice if you're subconsciously contracting your ankles so that you're lifting the tops of your feet, or the opposite, pointing them down instead of letting the feet be fully loose and relaxed. So just checking those muscles through the ankles. Now taking a long, deep breath in. And out, softening the lower legs. And breathing normally. Scanning the lower leg one more time. Looking for any areas of tension, then taking a nice deep breath in. And out, softening the tension. And breathing normally. Now we bring our awareness further down into the feet and out through the toes. Making sure to feel your heel, your instep or the insole, the ball of the foot behind the large toe, around the edges of your soles, the tops of the feet, all the muscles in between the long bones of the feet. And see if you can feel your way into each toe, starting with the large toe, and then the index toe, feeling the middle toe, the fourth toe, and then the pinky toe. These are very sensitive areas. See if you can notice any tension here, any numbness, any achiness. And then long in-breath. Out, and releasing the feet and toes. Breathing normally. Scanning the feet and toes one more time for tension. And then long inhale. And exhale. Releasing the feet and toes. And breathing normally. And now we'll spend the remainder of the meditation time scanning the whole body all at once, from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes, everything in between. Just slowly let your attention sweep up and down through your whole body, looking for any areas that are numb, that are tense or tight, that are achy or feel a little more painful than that. Any areas that call for attention from you. And anytime you notice an area of tension, all you have to do is take a long deep breath in at your own time. And as you exhale, releasing that air, inviting that area of tension or pain to soften and release. So just go now at your own speed throughout your whole body, up and down, taking a deep in-breath and out-breath anytime you identify something that could use a little more softening and release. And this concludes the meditation.